So I actually read the Attack on Titan manga for the first time, Volume 1. It was available on Amazon Prime for free, so I went ahead and downloaded it and finally got around to reading it. Of course, I'm familiar with the story through the anime and stuff like that. I'm kind of, it's kind of iffy. I do think I'm starting to really appreciate the difference between manga and anime. Like, back when I first started reading manga, it was mostly because, like, well, I'll have to wait for this to be animated. I want to keep up with the story. I'm sick of being spoiled by shit on message boards and stuff like that. Like my view used to be that manga was just a story draft for the animation, and I don't really feel that way anymore. Reading the manga, I really start to appreciate the pacing. I really start to appreciate the artwork, the stylistic differences, and the creativity of the original artist, because it does look a little bit different than the anime. It is worth reading, something that I honestly didn't really expect. Honestly, it was kind of weird to me to see the same thing be adapted into different mediums, especially while it was still ongoing. But Attack on Titan, it was nice reading the manga and dealing with this, and sort of wow, how much of the original anime was, how much of the first season of the anime was filler? Because I've watched it twice, and I swear that, like, a lot of that didn't happen in the manga. It's just like they didn't have the deal with, like, the gear or anything like that. It was really weird. But in a way, it was kind of better. Like, you didn't have these dragging moments. Like, it doesn't have, like, the pacing problems. Honestly, like, at this point, like, I feel like we'll be caught up with the Volume 2. Surely that'll just be like the Battle of Trust, right? Well, maybe it'll go into Volume 3 as well. Well, I'm not familiar with manga volumes yet. I'm sorry, I haven't really done my research into how long these are, but I guess you won't know until you actually read it. I guess it varies from a series to series, but there's really only 23 volumes of Attack on Titan. Wow. It's been going for, like, since 2009. Yeah, so anyway, I really am a big fan of Attack on Titan. I'm not sure why I haven't talked about it more on this channel. I think it's because, like, when did I watch it first? Like 2013, something like that. When did the first anime season come out? Right, it was around that point. I watched it. I really liked it, and then it took years for the literal years for the second season to be made, and now we're, like, getting caught up with the manga. Honestly, probably for the best, because that's one of my pet peeves, is when, like, they go along with the manga and, like, have to rely overtly on filler. Like, just look at the shit that is Black Clover for an example of how that turns out. I do like the series a lot, in spite of its problems. At least with the anime department. Maybe the manga is better about this, like explaining character motivations. I did get the feeling reading Volume 1 that one of my big problems with Season 1 of Attack on Titan, like, the really vagueness as to what happened to Eren's dad, it's a bit more clear cut here that something was up with that. Something happened there, and I think that sort of that does a great job. That does a better job of, like, setting up the deal with the manga. It does a better job, really building up to what's going to happen next. Going by my impression, honestly, why didn't they just not focus more on that? Did they not want to give so much away? It's kind of confusing to me. Again, this is why I think, like, the anime adaptation should wait until the manga is over. But then, like, you have the problem, like, these series go on for, like, literal years. It's impossible to just. Anyway, it's just a flaw of the medium, I think. Something that I'm appreciating more and more as I get older. But I think Attack on Titan sort of works in spite of its problems, in spite of. If anything, the more I learn about it, the more I start to appreciate, like, my original complaints weren't really valid. You know what I mean? Like, it does feel like once you understand. Maybe I shouldn't talk about this because, like, I was spoiled on certain aspects of the story, so maybe I'll just wait to talk about that until I actually get to that. actually watching season 3, for example. I'm so far behind. Like, people are talking about like the next season, and I'm just like, I haven't even watched season 3 yet. It took me a while to watch season 2 as well, but I could literally do it tonight, but I just. But anyway, the manga was interesting. I really enjoyed it a lot. I really found it different than the anime. It was the same plot line, but it was very, very refreshing, and I think they sort of built up certain things better. And honestly, I want to keep reading the manga. Honestly, I do think I am starting to get into manga. I immediately after I finished it, I went back to reading Doctor Stone, getting caught up on that, and I kind of have mixed feelings on that because I think like Doctor Stone, because of like Dr. Stone can actually make filler interesting because they just go more in depth as like how the science is supposed to work. So as a result, like the anime is just amazing. Seeing this stuff in motion, like seeing how it like supposedly works, like it really feels like watching the anime. You really learn something, but in the manga, it's just graphs, and it doesn't do it for me nearly as much. I'm mostly just reading the manga to get caught up with the story and get hyped for season 2. But anyway, like it depends. You know what I mean? Like you have good anime, and then you have like good manga. Like sometimes you get bad manga and good anime, and sometimes it's all over the place sometimes. But that's interesting. It's exciting. It keeps it like you get to think about things from different perspectives and like really appreciate what they're doing creatively. I really really value that. It's very 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 interesting. Well, anyway, I don't feel like I talked a whole lot about Attack on Titan Volume 1 in this issue. Well, what is there to talk about? Like the Titans attack. The setup is great. You don't even see them, I think, for a good portion of it until like the wall comes down, which is very, very interesting. They do a great build up, like talking about like the hopelessness of the situation. Like I love that about Attack on Titan. Like it really does emphasize just how these kind of challenges are worth overcoming. That's something I really, really value in honestly this kind of in all of fiction, actually. I really, really, really appreciate that. Eren dedicates himself to like killing these things and like saving humanity. It's very, very compelling stuff. Mostly, we're just getting like character motivations and like establishing the setting here, establishing some of the characters. Like you actually don't see all the characters in this. Like I don't think you see Amir, right? You do see Krista, you do see, Jean's there, Mikasa, Armin, I think Connie, Sasha, Reiner's there, Marco. You do have these people there, right? I don't think any of the characters outside like the top 10 graduates are really built up on yet. Maybe I guess that doesn't come later. That's another interesting thing I've noticed about animes, that they're able to like adapt in characters that weren't introduced until later, right? Very very interesting stuff. But anyway, yeah, honestly, like if I had my way, I would probably have bought like Volume 2 already, but unfortunately, I have so much manga to get through already, and I already know the story. Like it's one of those situations. It's on my list. I'll put it on my Amazon purchase list for sure. I'll get it as soon as I have time. Right now, I gotta work on my own stuff. I gotta do all this. I'm busy right now. I have a lot to do, but until then, I will see you all next time.